so the first thing I need you guys to do is label your notes Unit 6. Notes, no. Actually, you're probably right. You're probably okay. Unit 6. Today, anyway. We're gonna Pythagorean. That's a misspelling. Pythagorean. Oh my gosh. Pythagorean Theorem. Pythagorean Theorem has to do with right triangles. The unit that we're moving on to, Unit 6, has everything to do with circles. We're going to study circles. So why am I teaching you the Pythagorean Theorem or reteaching you the Pythagorean Theorem if Pythagorean Theorem has to do with a triangle, but we're going to be studying circles? Well, you will see as the unit goes on, there's a huge relationship between triangles and circles. So what we're going to do today is just review the basics, because all these basics that I'm going to review with you today are things that are going to show up in circles later on. So the first thing I want you to do is draw yourself a right triangle. When I say right triangle, that means that there is a 90-degree angle right there in the corner. And typically you label the right angle as capital letter C. And then the other two angles are angle A and angle B. Doesn't matter where you put the A, doesn't matter where you put the B, but C is typically the right angle. Now, the side that is across from an angle, we label with the same letter, but we label it with a lowercase letter. So if this is angle C, directly across the triangle from it is lowercase c. And if this is angle A, directly across the triangle is lowercase a. And if this is angle B, directly across the triangle is lowercase b. Now C, what do we call C? It is the hypotenuse. And by the way, a hypotenuse only exists if you have a right triangle. So if the triangle is not right, it does not have what we call a hypotenuse. Side A and side B are both called legs. A and B are legs. And the Pythagorean theorem says that if you take side A and square it and add to it side B and square it, you will get side C squared. This is the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Again, C is the hypotenuse. And then A and B are both legs. So when you guys use the Pythagorean theorem, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find side A, to find side B, to find side C. So side C you will find by taking the square root of side A squared plus side B squared. If I ask you to find side A, you will take side C squared minus side B squared. And if I ask you to find side B, you are going to take C squared minus A squared. When I say C squared minus B squared, C squared minus A squared, make sure you're taking the square root of it also. Okay? Are you guys okay with this? None of this should be, I don't think, anything too big. And tomorrow, we're going to get into SOHCAHTOA. Do you guys remember SOHCAHTOA from last year? Sine, cosine, tangent. We're going to do all that stuff. I will review with you all skills that you have to be good at in order to do the stuff that we're going to do next. So, all right, so this is kind of the guts of it. There's one more thing I want to say, is that if you take the measure, M meaning the measure of angle A, capital letter A meaning an angle, so angles are capital letters, sides are lowercase letters. If you take the measure of angle A and you add to it the measure of angle B and then add to it the measure of angle C, what do you get?
180.
at 100. 80 degrees. This is Mickey Mouse math, right?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse math. A plus B plus C in any triangle always adds up to 180 degrees. All right. Let's try one example and I'm done. Draw yourself another right triangle. I'm going to draw this triangle upside down. And I'm going to label this angle C. It's the 90-degree angle. It doesn't matter where you put A, where you put B. I'm going to put A here. I'm going to put B here. I'm going to tell you that angle A is 38 degrees. I'm also going to tell you that side C, the hypotenuse, is 14. And I think I'll also tell you that side B is 10. And your job would be to figure out anything else. Yes?
Angle B is 52.
How did you figure that out?
That was the answer key.
So the measure of angle B is equal to, you take 180 degrees, you subtract from it the 90-degree angle. You know that this angle right here, where the little square is, that's always 90 degrees. So you do 180 minus 90 minus 38. What is 180 minus 90 minus 38? It is 52. So you get 52 degrees. So angle B, we figured out 52 degrees. But you also have to figure out one of the missing sides. What is the missing side? Side A. Give me a minute, okay? So if you go back to the three situations that I gave you, side A you find by taking the square root of C squared minus B squared. So A is equal to side C, which is 14, squared, minus side B squared, which is 10 squared. So square root of 14 squared minus 10 squared is what? 9.8. Is that rounded correctly and everything else? Alright, so you end up with 9.8. That is what you're going to need to do today. Okay?
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And you know what? If your hand gets tired from writing too much, just let me know. Okay?
Chop it off on me.
Whatever I have to do.
Alright.